There are a lot of car-crazy people in Lebanon, with a particular preference for old models from Germany.
Hey! This is what I call a German classic in Lebanon.
People are attached to their car.
Voila.
So, what explains all these German-built cars on the streets of Lebanon? And what do they tell us about life in a country shaken by conflict and crisis?
People who don't like banks, they used to buy real estate, now they buy cars.
My journey this time takes me through the whole of Lebanon. First up, the port town of Tripoli in the north of the country, the second biggest city in Lebanon. A short distance inland, Bakhaoun, a village in the hills. Popular here, smoking strong shisha tobacco and driving a Mercedes.
So I'm in the car with Omar, a living legend.
I'm the oldest cab driver around here, and I've been on the road since 1955.
Omar is 89 years old, his Mercedes is brightly 60, and together they've clocked up a good couple of million kilometers.
My darling. It's still in its original condition from head to tail. I haven't changed anything. It runs. The upholstery is still the same too. I've basically left everything the way it was.
The hood ornament is the only non-original part, says Omar. He's affectionately called the King of Bakhaoun here due to his stately ride and demeanor.
Hey, learn to drive. I am the king. Everyone loves me, although we all love each other here.
And drivers across Lebanon love their German cars. Omar's is a Mercedes W110 from the 1960s. Its signature small tail fins are not to American cars of the time, and with a legend like Omar, it's no surprise his buddies also like to drive German cars.
We all drive Mercedes here.
A lot of them have decades-old wheels, maintained lovingly and meticulously, because in the hilly terrain around here, having a reliable car is crucial. And as Omar explains, the reason why there are so many old German cars in these parts is that they can withstand the harsh climate and get you to your destination.
This is classical Lebanese style, huh?
It's normal. Everyone packs their car up to the roof. The problem is that people don't follow the rules. If there's an accident, nobody really cares. The roads are really poor quality. And that's why you need strong and solid cars like these classic ones to cope with the bad roads.
And right on cue, we're treated to a taste of just how durable his old jalopy really is.
I'm out of gas. It felt strange. No gas, no problem.
And with a full bottle on board, there's no stopping Omar and his trusty tail fin. Lebanon's public transport network might not be the most developed, but the small country does have an estimated 2 million plus cars on its roads. Almost half of them are second-hand and at least 20 years old, and hundreds of thousands of them are German-built. These cars of yesteryear also tell us a lot about contemporary life here. Decades of economic woes are reflected on the roads. Many are driven until they die due to a lack of funds, while others are left where they are, and some of them are repurposed.
This one here is probably the coolest use for an old car.
The 1970s VW bus belongs to cake maker Chadi. It's fitted with a generator to keep his fridges running during the almost daily blackouts. 35 years? Crazy.
It's my dad's.
35 years ago, Lebanon was still in the grips of civil war, and some say their country is falling apart again, with rampant inflation and systemic corruption. One answer is to focus on a personal passion, says Nabil Karam.
Welcome.
In Lebanon here, how does it work? It works like this. Voila.
Born into a wood supplier dynasty, he's a businessman and multiple Lebanese rally car champion. A man keen to cultivate his love of cars and his own racing legacy.
I won 2 Lebanese championships with this one, 5 with this one.
He set up his own museum
Ferraris. Okay.
to showcase his triumphs.
Every time a beautiful picture in my racing and everything, it's a good souvenir, I do it. Welcome to the classic cars.
But alongside the cars, the museum also dwells on a traumatic recent chapter in the country's history.
You know, this museum is a mirror of what happened in our life, what affected our life. So I had to show what the disaster that happened in Lebanon, in Beirut. At that day we were here in the museum, it was at 6:15, and we saw the museum fall down. And it was 20 kilometers away, and all the windows of the museum down were broken, all of it.
The Beirut port explosion in August 2020 left 218 people dead and 300,000 homeless. The disaster also ended the blossoming protest movement in Lebanon and hopes of a genuine new dawn, says Billy, who recommends filling the void of hardship and a lack of prospects with the nice things in life.
Passions remove pain. Passions make you forget pain, and cars, the Lebanese people love cars, and it's in their blood, it's in our DNA. And the culture of cars is very old in Lebanon, and people are attached to their cars.
That attachment is something I want to explore in the east of the country, in the Behnke Valley. Karam is a cab driver and the proud owner of Aziza, a one-of-a-kind Mercedes W123.
I traveled to Germany and Brazil, Italy, France, Holland, Belgium. I went all around the world. I speak 8 languages. I didn't go to college. I learned from the University of Life.
The car boasts an array of gadgets, reflecting Akram's sense of humor. But where did the idea for his customized cab come from?
I was abroad, and when I came back to Lebanon, I bought this car and started working as a cab driver. I had a revelation from Allah telling me to redesign it in the colors of the Lebanese flag.
Karam spent 10 years working on Aziza, investing the equivalent of 3,000 euros. No coincidence that the name means beloved.
This is my lady Aziza. She lives in the center of my heart. My entire life is in here. There's nothing like her.
Back in Beirut, I want to see how the market for old German cars is changing. Right now, they're in growing demand, especially among people looking for recession-proof investment.
Hey, Michel. Nice meeting you.
Michel Haddad works in his family-run repair shop which specializes in restorations and conversions. Unfortunately, restrictions and delays on cash withdrawals from banks have taken their toll on business here too.
The economical problem we're having now is that people's money are stuck in the banks. So to buy parts is more challenging than before because most of the parts you have to ship from abroad. So we have to send money in order to get the parts. This is our main issue right now.
And those who do have enough disposable money invest in cars, says Michel, in case the situation gets even worse.
Some people see it as a valuable investment. So for example, usually people who don't like banks, they used to buy real estate, land, and so forth, so on and so forth. Now they buy watches and cars because you can always ship them, sell them anywhere else. If you one day need the money, you can enjoy it in another country. A car will always increase in value.
In especially big demand are so-called number-matching cars, vintage models still in 100% original condition from chassis to engine. Michel's top customer owns over 60 cars, including a number of German classics.
For a car in this condition that's completely been restored, you'd be looking somewhere around $150,000.
What I want to know is, when did the fashion for aging but dependable German sedans actually take off? In the 1950s, according to Ramzi Saba, with taxis based on the Mercedes Ponton.
In the 50s, the pontons were not considered as a luxury. They were used as taxis. In every picture you would take of any street, you would see one, at least one.
The cars are associated with an era nostalgically called the Golden Age of Lebanon, from the mid-50s up to the start of the Civil War in 1975.
Up till now, when I'm driving my ponton, I would see an old man who would stop me, tell me I was a taxi driver. I was able to send 3 kids or 4 kids to university thanks to this car. People who would see the ponton automatically would remember the good times of Beirut.
But of course, Ramzi hopes that brighter times will soon return to Beirut, a development that would help to broaden people's outlook.
Each era, I think each era had its good and bad times. Now, if I'm looking now, we've been in bad times for a few years, but people are still surviving, and history is still being made.
And I think there is a parallel to those old German cars. They keep on going, despite or because of everything they've been through, and have become classics, regardless of their condition. And that rounds off my trip around Lebanon. Write to us in the comments and share the video, and see ya next time.